Howdy, folks. It's Saturday night. Um, yeah, so I'm in the middle of fucking butt-fuck Alabama. I trained. Okay, so here's what happened. After I talked to you, maybe I was at the Cracker Barrel. I don't know. I plugged into the Cracker Barrel, slept till noon, woke up around 7:40, and my van was unplugged, which I don't care. That's actually, they just threw my extension cord under my van. I was like, thank you. That's how you do it. You don't beat on my van. You just unplug me if you have an issue, or you just leave it. First time using my new extension cord, which is like that thick. It's a beefy one compared to my other shitty one, so maybe that contributed. But I also adjusted my solar float voltage to 14.5, which is very high, because I'm not going to educate you on solar, but basically most solar problems arise from the batteries never getting a full charge. So they go into premature flotation, floutation, or whatever is the verbiage online. So when you up the voltage, it helps. And then I woke up and proceeded to drive to a coffee shop, debated between two coffee shops, picked a good one, got a coconut latte, because their mocha had milk. Sat down, whipped out my laptop, and then there was a really hot girl that like got her coffee and walked away, and I was like, all right, time to not give your attention away to hot girls, because like I was like oogling over this girl for a second. I was like, Jesus Christ, Southern girls, man. And then I was like on my laptop, and then another girl came in, and I was like, it looked like she was wearing a Hooters outfit, to be honest. And I like caught myself looking. I was like, wait a minute, no. I went back to working, and I was like, I was fighting myself, because I was like, oh, you can just look right now, because she's standing there. She won't see you looking. You can look for like 2 minutes, and I didn't. Anyway, and then so I didn't look. I just kept working, and then she sat on the couch next to me, and then I don't know, a half hour went by, and eventually we started talking. I like felt the pressure to talk like right when she sat down. I was like, nah, man, don't do things out of negative energy. Like, just wait till that subsides and then act. And then it did. It was natural. It's like, fuck. That's just how interactions need to go. Like, the initial, like, subsides. But, like, I don't know. Life doesn't support that. At least not in my experience. But anyway, we just bullshitted for, like, an hour. And it was cool. When I found out she was, like, a crazy Christian, I was like, that's right, I'm in the South. Like, it doesn't bother me, but then I'm like, there's going to be barriers to friendship if your religion is that powerful to you, your corporate religion. But it was cool. It made me feel good. Just like sharing with someone. Although I forget these things that, like, I don't know, either my hearing is really bad, which could be very well possible, or people mumble, or like, I don't know. It's just, she wasn't wearing a mask, which was a plus to starting a conversation, but I just like couldn't hear like definitely 1 out of 4 things that we talked about. I was like, and it's sort of frustrating, because I always feel like on the outside, I'm like, I'm having a conversation, but I still don't know what you're saying. Then I went to jiu-jitsu, and that was fucking weird. I thought it was going to be dope, because I was back to Huntsville, back to the homies that were cool when I first trained. But I mean, there could have been shit going on because they were getting ready for a tournament, so there could have been nerves. But I don't know. Like the one guy that was super cool that had a beard last time wasn't as cool. Could it be because I don't have a beard? I don't know. Other guys were cool though, so it was fine. They said that I looked a lot bigger. It's like, I have just been fucking working out for 2 months, but not that religious. But yeah, I could definitely see how I'm bigger than I was because I came off a farm. It's like farm strong, not like bodybuilding strong. Not that I'm bodybuilding strong, but I've looked at myself in the mirror at Planet Fitness. I'm like, damn, I'm getting yoked. Getting yoked, nigga. So I could see that. Still doesn't help my jiu-jitsu. But I just did not feel great after leaving that class. I mean, the technique was great. The rolls were good enough. They were pretty good. I rolled with some kids that was fun. All the rolls, I at least tapped the person once. I only got tapped a couple times. It was good. It just, I didn't feel good. I don't know, like the energy was weird. Still felt like a weird outsider. And then I took a shower, Planet Fitness, and then I was going to go to Cracker Barrel, but I was like, fuck, because they canceled open mat today. So I drove out to a random boat launch. Spent the night there, which was good. Except I woke up at like 10 to a full-ass boat launch. I don't even know how I slept through all those cars pulling in. I think I was tired. And then it so happens that I was like 30 minutes away from the tournament that they were all going to. So I was like, fuck it. I didn't get an invite, but I'll just step my smelly ass in this tournament. So I had to like scheme on their Instagram to figure out where it was, because it like wasn't posted anywhere. It wasn't like a high level like spectator tournament, even though there was a lot of money on the line. It's like thousands of dollars, but it's jiu-jitsu. No one cares to watch. So eventually I found it, and I only missed a couple matches. I got to see like the main one, so that was cool. It was still a little weird. I don't know. I like almost prefer to be by myself. I'm just learning things. Like, it just feels weird to be around people when I don't know how to act. Not even that I don't know how to act. It's just like everyone's talking, and I'm like trying to be a part of what they're talking so I can be a part of the group. But I don't necessarily care. I'm like fake laughing or I don't know. Like, but if I was just sitting by myself, I could just. But then I would probably be paying attention to people sitting next to me anyway. Dude, life is like. I was glad they called me. Like, I snuck in, or I didn't sneak. I walked in and I sat down on the bench, the bleachers, like at the second row, and then all of a sudden I heard my name. I was like, what? And it was like 7 of the Huntsville guys. I was like, sweet. And I went up, high-fived him, just sat down. Like, I didn't like add anything to the conversation. I watched the fights, which was cool. It's been a while since I watched a jiu-jitsu tournament. It made me want to get in there, because fuck. It was basically 10th Planet versus shitty jiu-jitsu. Which is like leg locks versus aggressive old school jiu-jitsu. And leg locks won, of course. They had tag team jiu-jitsu, which was interesting. I'd never seen that before. I never watched wrestling as a kid that much. Like at all, actually. Just played the video games, but it was crazy. Like, 2 guys would be grappling and then they'd slap another guy and he'd have 3 seconds to get in and like throw a submission. I don't know, it was crazy. But they like ended in draws. It was stupid. It was like small town friend ref stuff. And then I like hung around after and we took a picture, but it was still awkward. I didn't know what to say. Like I didn't want to like be overly boisterous because like everyone just kind of lost. No one won. They either drawed or lost. So I was like, okay. Plus I'm not like comfortable. I'm still a Virgo, like a Virgo projector. Better one-on-one, man. That's what was cool about talking to that chick at the coffee shop, is that we were one-on-one, so it was like a good conversation. And then I was half expecting everyone to go get food or something, because that's usually what happens after tournaments. But it didn't seem like that's what happened. Or I got left out. But it seemed like everyone just went about their own business. So I was like, okay. And then I decided, it took me a while. I was just sitting in the van deciding. And I decided to go to a waterfall and then a brewery. And now I'm at a Cracker Barrel. The waterfall was okay. I mainly went there to take a shit and take a nap because I was just exhausted after like going to that tournament. Just a lot of energy, people, and I didn't drink caffeine today. And yeah. And then I saw the waterfall, and then I went to the brewery, and I had a good conversation with the bartender chick, but I did not like the brewery, and I just need like something to do at a bar. I don't know. I just don't have. I'm not gonna start a I was just listening to people's conversations. Like, not really, but I would walk by and hear what they're talking about, and be like, "That's why I'm not talking to you people, because you're talking about fucking inflation or fucking television." It's like, no, that's why I'm not talking to you. I sat there and I did the whole douchebag. I was on my phone posting some Instagrams, and then I downloaded some jujitsu. Went to my car, got my laptop, downloaded jujitsu footage, did some crypto shit. I wanted to go to a ratchet ass bar tonight, but I have a little self-destructive urges inside of me right now. Like, I know if I went to a ratchet bar, the odds of me fighting or drinking way too much are at least 80%. I just feel not violent. I don't know. Just like my violence comes out of like desperation almost. It's like a possum. When you back a possum into a corner and it gets violent. Like a possum itself isn't violent. But when you back it into a corner, it will fuck your face up. And that's just sort of how I feel right now. And like, it's a theme through my whole life. It's like, I've just noticed it. If I'm not comfortable about my living situation or my finances, which I've made peace with my finances, and my living situation is good enough, but neither of them are like enough to make me feel like at like, I'm not gonna get on a soapbox and start preaching my ways so people can learn it. I'm just like, well, treading water, so don't latch onto me and I won't latch onto you. Which is, I feel like, a lot of America. Everyone tread water by yourself. Where was I going at this? Oh, the self-destructive behavior, yeah. I just, like, don't have a place to live. Like, the old me would be shitting a brick right now because I'm just going to park in a Walmart for a month. But I'm like, whatever. It's not ideal, but I'll fucking make it work. Sort of how it is, but at the same time, I know there's, like, the possum inside of me that will crack this fucking tequila bottle over someone's head. That was a big one. I was like, And like these girls I've been talking to are cute. They fit the bill for me in like my type. Like thick, cute face. Like bubbly personality or whatever, you know, like. But at the same time, I can tell that in like 10 years, these girls are going to be disgusting. I like saw billboards driving and I was like, wow, that looks exactly like the girl I was talking to 10 years from now. And it's just, like I know everyone's going to get old and yada, yada, yada. We all lose our sex appeal or whatever, but and I definitely get that your taste changes as you age, sort of. But I just, it's so weird. The whole mating procedure is so weird. Like I see both sides. Like I'll see like an attractive girl. Yeah, I saw another billboard that was like, I mean, the lady was like an 8, an older 8, and the dude was just like this fattest buzz cut looking douche nozzle. And I was like, well, they married for money. You can obviously tell. You see that, and then you see the other way. It's like, actually, you never really see a hot guy with an ugly chick, do you? Sometimes you do. You know what's up. You know what's up. Yeah, it's just, it's weird. It's weird. I'm gonna probably cut all this because this is stupid as fuck. Well, I've been to this Cracker Barrel before, which is sort of depressing. I don't even know what I'm trying to articulate right now. I just wanted to play games with someone at the bar. But everyone was in like groups of like 5 and 6 and 7. Like already had enough people in their group. And they're playing gay games. Like there was cool games like this tabletop shuffleboard. That's a pretty cool game. But they were all playing bags, cornhole, which is the gayest game. It's literally called cornhole. It's like I can feel it. I can totally feel like being. I was never a bully, but I definitely feel bully energy all the fucking time. It's like now I want to be a bully. Like maybe I always was a bully. I just never did the bully thing, but I wanted to be. Bullies just want to play. Yeah. Did you work that out of your system? Learn? I don't know. Because part of my anger, I feel like, is from that. I don't know. Because, like, yeah, I just want to be part of something. Like, I've been going to all these 10th planets and training, and, like, it just takes so much time. I wish you could just. Like, time is the motherfucker. It's fucking Saturn. I looked up because I know where Saturn is on my fucking ceiling. Saturn. So, I've felt this way my whole life. which has enabled me to travel, because I'm like, well, I never feel it a part of any friend group, so I may as well just travel around, because it'll be the fucking same. This friend group, that friend group, never matters. It's all fucking weird. So sure, I see the upside in that, but at the same time, the traveling feels like running. Not running, just seeking. I'm probably gonna stop making videos soon. Just for a while. Or like weekly or something. I don't know, because they've all become like just depressing rants. And they've always been sort of rambly, but like now lately they're just sort of not self-pity, just stating the obvious. A case study in depression. I'm not depressed. I mean, I am maybe in a sense, but I feel myself flexing, like this whole conversation. I just feel myself flexing a lot, like, I don't know what that means. Like wanting a hug or / wanting to punch someone. It's like both. It was like, as I said that, I'm just like flexing, like, I looked for houses again, and yeah, it's just shit. There's nothing. Because to get a house by myself, I'd have to sign like a 6-month lease. I'm not going to be here that long. Like, room rate shares are super fucking discriminatory. I don't fit any of the criteria. I'm not old, and I'm not a female. And I have a cat. So that, like, excludes me from all of them. Like, with time, if I could, like, go unconscious for, like, 29 days out of the year. Like, time is too slow. But at the same time, it's too slow. But you need that slowness for some things. But, like, can we condense a week into a day? Just keep everything else the same. It's just like, yeah, I want to buy a human design book so I can study. I don't have an address. Yes, I can do general delivery, which I will end up doing, but just, I want to fix my door. I don't have a place to work or a welder. This isn't self-pity. Like, I'm just expressing. I get defensive when I talk, like, because everyone in my life's like, that I've ever met is like, you just look on the bright side. It's just like, that's where my anger comes from. So I want to express this shit, and I don't want to have to look on the bright side. Like, if you tell me that, I'm gonna fucking backhand you so fucking hard. Like, you're gonna explode. Like, I'm your ascension. Maybe I am the ascension. And when I start backhanding people, they will all ascend. 5D. Oh, 90. That was a woke motherfucker. 1D. They fucked up. There was just, oh, there was a fat guy at the bar. I'm just thinking, like, I wish the laws didn't exist. I just feel like I would be better. At least just starting a confrontation. Like, it doesn't need to go to fisticuffs. But it needs to have the option to go to fisticuffs. Without, like, going to prison or whatever. But he was a twat, fat piece of shit. I asked if some of the beers had lactose. Because I was like, well, that's a milk stout. And that's a hazy. Do they have lactose? And he's like, I don't know. If I was allergic, I'd probably stay away from them. Otherwise, I'd have to call the Brewers Association to figure it out. I was like, aren't these beers brewed here? He's like, yeah, but the recipe and the ingredients came from the Brewers Association. I was like, no, you mix them here, fat boy. Like, all my triggers come in that. It's like, oh, you're fat and you're kind of old because you have gray in your beard? Fuck. And you're a dickhole? It's just, it makes sense in jiu-jitsu why I'm better against bigger people, because I'm like, fuck you. Absolutely fuck you. Little people, I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for you. You're little. I'm not really going to try to hurt you. But big people, I'm like, I'm going to snap your fat knees. Yeah, like in jiu-jitsu, I rolled with this big-ass dude. And I go-go plotted. Yeah, I go-go plotted him. Which is a dope submission that I've maybe pulled off like 3 in my lifetime. Like, in live rolls. And that's being generous. Maybe not even. Actually, yeah, probably against white belts. And I'm pretty sure he's a blue belt. But it's where you throw your leg in front of their face and your foot there, and then you grab your own toe and you choke them out with it. And it was dope. And I almost had another one, but I didn't want to do it to him because I actually liked the guy. And then I had an arm bar and I kind of let it go. And then at the end he was like, I was like, I want to be your friend, so I'm not trying to crank these submissions. And he's like, I would have respect for you. I was like, huh. It's just a different way to look at it. Like, he would rather be my friend if I submitted him a bunch. I mean, yeah, to a point I'm the same way, but not really. Catch and release is more respectful to me, but... I feel like putting myself in uncomfortable scenarios has become almost a pattern of... I know this is part of my personality, like masochism to a point. Because there's triggers, there's just things that I know can trigger me, and sometimes I'll just keep going back to them daily to trigger myself. Like, not on purpose, hoping that it won't still trigger me, but it always does. And I would define that as masochism. So trying to force myself to go to, like, bars and act differently is straight up masochism. Always. Or expecting different... Just accepting that, well, it's just not... I remember going to bars in my younger days, and I would have to be, like, borderline blackout drunk to go to bars. Like, ratchet-ass, rowdy-ass clubs. I wish Ascension was real. Like, I have no ties to this earth. Okay, Leo. I am fully confident that if I was in the midst of an ascension, which I imagine to be similar to an ego death, an intense psychedelic experience, that I could deal with leaving him behind. I'd be like, dude, he's got this. He's been training. He'll be okay. Or someone will find my van with a bunch of cat food and start feeding him and adopt him. And he'll be like, sweet. That's the only tie I have. Like, there's no one else. Like, jiu-jitsu, I can let jiu-jitsu go. Like, that's fine. Sure, done. That's only tied to the physical realm. If we go to another realm where it's similar physics, I will try to continue jiu-jitsu. I just have a hard time believing Ascension is real. I understand everything is changing in a way, but I feel like it's falling into dark hands. And the only way is to play the game. See, these are the conversations I want to have with people. And, like, I can leave out the depressing stuff. Like, little to what I've said has been very depressing to me. Except quitting making videos actually made me sad when I said that. But everything else is just, like, tongue-in-cheek, you know. But, like, this is the shit I want to riff with people. Like, what are we doing? New moon in Taurus coming up. I was researching that too while at the bar. I was like, alright, what do I need to work on? That was just too hard to focus on. It's funny how Leo doesn't roam around. Like, the door's open. You want to talk? Yes. Were you offended that I said that I have no attachment to you? Or I could let go of my attachment? Definitely attached to you. But if it means leaving this realm, man, you can come with. Let's both give up attachments to this. Can you give up your food attachment? You give up food, I'll give up jiu-jitsu. We'll go together, man. It felt weird to zone out at a bar. I was just sitting by myself on a couch, just zoning out. And I was like, how weird do I look right now? Just zoning out at a bar. Like, zoning out needs to be a fucking thing. had like no videos to edit it at the bar either, so I was like, fuck. I had no jiu-jitsu. Actually, I had none of this because I haven't really been talking to you guys as much. Like, am I creating these videos to give myself something to do? Yes, absolutely. Is it helpful? That's debatable. I mean, it for sure helps me express things that would normally stay within. So that helps. Which is definitely the cause of, like, many, many traumas and stuff in life. But at the same time, is it just creating busy work, you know? Everything's busy work. It's fucking the busy world of Richard Scarry. Did you watch that show growing up? That show was dope. It was on like before Arthur, after Reading Rainbow. Oh, he needs some water. Like even now, I'm not really thinking of stuff. I'm like just like kind of letting the thoughts go through, and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, it happens. It's like what zoning out is. You just kind of let the thoughts go, and then maybe you'll catch a good one and you'll ride it. It's like surfing, I guess. I've never surfed, but then a lot of times you're like, well, someone's being annoying. Let's let that thought go. TV's on. Let that thought go. My ass is sore. Let that thought go. Like, I wonder what happened in the Ninja Turtles. And you're like, maybe you go with that thought for a minute. You're like, sure. Oh yeah, I went to a thrift store before I went to the coffee shop. Talked to that girl, and I talked to that girl, and I bought clothes that I liked, but weren't specifically like for a thing. Normally, I'll buy them for like, this is my farming shirt, or this is my work job interview shirt, or whatever. But I was like, I just like this shirt, and it feels good on me. So I bought it, and then I put it on right immediately after, and I went to the coffee shop wearing it. I was like, I feel good in this shirt. So. I definitely stole shoes too, though. Don't get me wrong. I wore in my flip-flops that I left out in the rain that were starting to stink. I was like, alright. It's time to get rid of these, which I may have bought them at that thrift store like 2 months ago. For sure. Kind of think I might have. And then I just tried on shoes and I was like, these work. I like them. I left my sandals there. Man, life is so weird. I don't even think we're in life. I feel like this is a prerequisite to life. Like if you make it through this, then you get life. This is definitely not life. This is 100% not life. What if there is no goal? I feel like there is no goal. We're assigning meaning to this. There's no meaning. I'm even starting to change my feeling around roadkill. Like, sometimes I would get sad with roadkill, especially if it was like a fresh roadkill. And like a cute animal, like a squirrel or possum. Actually, not so much a squirrel, but a raccoon, a possum, a deer. You know. But now I'm like, good for you. You got out of it. You made it, man. Well done. So I've been taking melatonin again, which this is the first time I fucked with melatonin since like 2009, give or take. Yeah, because I used it like all through college. I may have fucked with it early in my working career. I don't think so though, because I quit it. I quit it when I was unemployed or college graduate. But yeah, taking it again is weird. I've actually been getting really restful sleep, even though it's been super fragmented. Like 2 hours and then like awake, but then back to sleep, but then awake, and back to sleep, but then awake. It's like I wake up every 90 minutes probably. But I feel more rested usually. Today, I mean, I felt great when I woke up. It just kind of faded. I get that like 2, 3 o'clock where I'm like, that's usually when I drink coffee. I don't usually drink it. I know, I don't drink it when first thing when I wake up. I like waking up not zinging. But it's like 2, 3 o'clock when I'm like, Or sometimes when I'm just bored. I'm not even bored. I just like don't have anything to do, and I'm like, I could drink coffee, and then I would make myself find stuff to do. I just like drinking it out of a bag because you don't know what it is. This is $17 wine. That's pretty. $17 New Zealand wine. Like, what's wrong with me? This is definitely not how normal people feel. 100%. Like, no one feels like this. Okay, I could attribute it to being a projector. But I feel like there's got to be more to that. I don't even really fit in. Although they said the majority of homeless and transient vagabonds are projectors. Which makes me want to start like a projector rehabilitation program. Government funded. Government subsidized. Self-subsidized. I'll subsidize it. Psychedelically subsidized. I was watching a jiu-jitsu video about... They were debating about politics. Actually, they were just commenting on politics. Political issues. not really politics, but... And they were just saying how, like, they themselves are not politicians, so their area of expertise is not in politics. So if you take what they're saying as, like, the gospel, you're a moron, because that's not where they're experts. But then if they were to issue a video on, like, passing the guard or something jiu-jitsu related, you should take it as a gospel, one of the gospels, because they're an expert in that field. And I was like, huh, I'm an expert in nothing. I'm an expert in being depressed, dealing with depression without medication. And by dealing, I mean trudging through it. I mean, attempting to be a person in society. A failed attempt at a societal person. I'm like this speck of mold in your fucking yogurt that you flick out of the tub. Like when you buy those big tubs of yogurt, cottage cheese, whatever. And like there's a speck of green and you're a savage, so you're like, you just chuck it out and shut the lid again. And then you open it again and there's just more mold. Or I'm the piece of mold on the lid that you don't see. I'm trying to infect other pieces. Interesting, my depression has been like coinciding with a bout of constipation. I wasn't bashful about saying that, I just wanted to make sure the camera was on. But yeah, I've been constipated since Chattanooga. I've also been eating less. Could also coincide with depression. They're all kind of like triggers that come up at the same time. Because a lot of my coffee drinking is for pooping, and then when I drink coffee and don't poop, it's like, ugh. Today I drank alcohol, gotta poop. There's so many Jesus jams on the radio here, it's crazy. Just more mass, it's just like... Do I have love for my fellow humans? No. No, they're all cunts. I would hit them all in the head with a baseball bat. Would I hit myself in the head with a baseball bat? No. Do I have love for myself? Yes. I have love enough for myself to not go to a ratchet-ass bar and make myself miserable. I'm just like reflecting back on my life, and I'm like, man, maybe my whole life has been like a fucking facsimile of real existence. Because I'm thinking about how wasted I would have to get to like talk to people at a bar, and then I'm like, when did I actually make friends? It's like a slow process for me. We'll see if I'm friends with these like Huntsville people at the end of the summer. Or the space camp people. Space camp's gotta save me, man. It's such a weird savior. Save me, NASA, save me. I'm literally putting all my chips on NASA. Yeah, that's comedy right there, man. I know what NASA means in Hebrew. I know their logo is a serpent. Although I have a lot of serpent, like, energy in my life, I guess. I don't know. Like, all my ex-girlfriends are obsessed with snakes and lizards and reptiles. I love cats, which half snake, half lion, hybrid mystical beast. Sliding all my chips on NASA. Betting black. It's all on black, man. Or is it red? It's all on black. It's the abyss. I'd be lying if I wasn't saying I was worried about my, like, energy levels. I guess it's useless to talk about. It's useless to talk about. I find myself seeking distraction more and more. It's been like a ton of my life. I just remember playing video games as a kid. That was a distraction. Eating as a kid, that was a distraction from shitty family life. But now I'm seeking distraction just to speed time up. Right now, this isn't a distraction. I was just thinking, like, right now I'm in it. But if I wasn't talking to you, I'm expressing it. I feel like distractions are, like, I'm in the pain right now. But distractions are just, like, avoiding that. This isn't avoiding. This is actually, like, making it worse. I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. It's also, I sort of push myself a little bit because I was feeling, I always get this ego where I'm, like, obsessed with my body image to where I'm like, I'm not going to drink. I want to be really fit and muscular, and drinking will affect that. And I'm like, no, you're fucking shut up, pussy. It's mind, man. So, that's like part of it. I also sometimes hope, like, oh, usually it's a good experience. It's just super weird to be at Cracker Barrels I've been to before and remember them. I shouldn't remember this. There's nothing spectacular about it. Although I'm pretty sure I know the power outlet doesn't work. Because I remember staying plugged in over, or not plugged in over here. I wonder if Leo remembers them. Someone messaged me at the thrift store suggesting a national park I should go to. I wonder if that was the universe inviting me to go to somewhere, but they didn't do a very good job because it was like 6 hours after they messaged me that I saw it, and I was already an hour away. And I'd already been to that national park and it sucked. Especially on the weekend, it was a fucking shithole. It was full of fucking side-by-sides and ATVs and mud hole. Yeah. That was one of the spots I almost got stuck in the mud. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm done trying to find a place to live. I trust the universe. I mean, I want to clarify that with I guess, but I mean I do. Because I'm not going to do anything further on housing. I'm done trying. The right housing will come to me. All I can hope is that I can surf locations long enough. The only thing that's like a struggle with that is like toughing out shitty scenarios between just toughing it out, just being a hobo, like toughing it out, or knowing when like to cut my losses. Like that's really hard about the stock market too, because like man, I've been doing horrible at that lately. I'll like watch it go up to the moon, and then watch it come down, and I'll be like, wow, I did nothing. I should have sold at the top and then bought back at the bottom. But I was like, it'll go higher, and then it's coming down. I'm like, oh, it'll come back up, it'll come back up, it'll come back up. Watching it just tank. Whereas the last move was, I watched it go to the top, and then at the bottom I sold, and then I watched it go up, and then I bought again. I'm like, man, that's the dumbest fucking thing you could do. That's why, like, I'm not an expert in anything. I shouldn't give anyone advice. But at the same time, I feel like I'm doing better than most people at most things. For the most part. I mean, it's not a competition, but I'm winning. But what are we judging it on? Give me 8 weeks and I guarantee you I'll jockey to the top. That's like sort of how I am too. Like fantasy sports. Like the last 6 weeks of whatever season, I'll make a run for the top. I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm taking it seriously. Now I know what the fuck the rules are and the criteria. Like if life told me the rules and criteria for being judged, I would be at the top instantly. I just don't know what the rules and criteria are right now. Like money, no. Spirituality, like how do you even measure that? And no. Like, that's what people are trying to make it. That's what it feels like it is now. At least in the circles that I frequent. Or jiu-jitsu skills. Or like douchebaggery. By douchebaggery, I'm saying it in a positive manner, just like dirtbaggery. That's another. Like how free can you live your life and like get paid for it?